light. I'm not blinded, so I knew it was. Now I'm blinded. All right. Oh yeah. Where am I? What is this place? Oh, wait a minute. I'm live. Yeah, that's right. I'm not in my regular studio. I'm actually in West Virginia. We're trying a new production system. I'm liking what I see so far. Unfortunately, the guy that's helped me tonight, he lives in West Virginia, but we're going to try to set up something to where he can work remote. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited. If y'all knew all the time and effort that's being put into this live show, you would be excited as too. I am pumped. I am pumped. Real quick, wanted to talk about the big dance. A lot of surprises, guys. A lot of surprises. We already know that Kentucky got beat. Busted my brackets. Not happy about that. Not at all. Who in their right mind would have thought the Fighting Peacocks of St. Peter's, a 15 seed, would upset Kentucky? Not me. I had Kentucky going to the national championship, and the rest is history. Busted brackets. Some more upsets today. Baylor, I don't know what to think about Baylor. I really don't, because they got down by 25 points. I know there's this big, uproar about the guy that got tossed. But the fact of the matter is, Baylor did get down by 25. They roared back, and they still lost. Now, that didn't bust my brackets because I had Marquette beating Baylor in the second round. I got that part wrong. It was North Carolina. But that didn't bust my brackets. But, man, Baylor gone, Kentucky gone. Who's next? I'm looking at you, Duke. I'm looking at you. It might not be today. Maybe Sweet 16, Elite 8. But there's going to be some bigger names. All right, let's move on to what I really want to talk about tonight, all right? And I've made videos about this before, but I really want y'all to understand the situation that's going on in West Virginia. The biggest thing that's getting on my nerves right now is people, West Virginia fans, freaking out. I mean, totally freaking out because we had a lot of players hit the transfer portal. I mean, that really happened. But you don't realize what's going on. And I did some digging, did a video on this. Same thing is happening at USC, except it's happening in year one of Lincoln Riley. He's getting rid of people that don't fit the system, bringing in the guys that do. So the biggest issue that I have with West Virginia is realizing that this should have happened sooner. Okay? What's happening is supposed to happen, but the timing of it, a little late, because Neil Brown is too loyal, in my opinion. So stop freaking out, okay? This is supposed to happen. Wish it would have happened in year one, year two. But again, Coos brought up a good point in the chat section whenever I made that video. The timing of the hire of Neil Brown kind of made it difficult in year one, so maybe it should have happened in year two. Bottom line is, it should have happened before this year. So stop freaking out. The big name on the market, JT Daniels. This is a big deal, okay? Number one, he's interested in West Virginia. That's a fact, guys. He is interested in West Virginia. Number two, we're not competing with big brands to get JT Daniels. We're competing with Missouri and Oregon State. That's it. That's it. Unless there's some, I've heard some rumblings about Oklahoma State. I'm not sure how solid that is. But for now, it's just Missouri and Oregon State. Oregon State, closer to home. That's about it. I mean, yeah, he'd be a starting quarterback, but, I mean, Corvallis, 35,000 people for a stadium. Not a very big stadium, not a very big stage. Pac-12 at night doesn't get a big audience, so he really wouldn't get to showcase his abilities for the NFL. So the only perk for Oregon State is he would be playing closer to home. That's it. Then there's Missouri. I guess staying in the SEC, that could be something, worth something. I don't know. He would be a day one starter there as well. They lost Connor Bazelak, so he would definitely be the starter there. He'd get to play Georgia, but he's got to know Missouri would probably get stomped by Georgia because Georgia is Georgia. They're still the king of the East. So I'm not sure what Missouri really offers to JT Daniels either. Then there's West Virginia. And, people were getting in my ear saying, well, he's not scheduled to even visit West Virginia until April. Well, actually, that's not true. He's actually scheduled to visit West Virginia March 27th or March 25th through March 27th. So a little sooner than what I was hearing from people. And so it's a big deal. And there's one big advantage that West Virginia holds over everybody else, and that is Graham Harrell. I know I've beaten that horse over and over and over, but it's a fact. Graham Harrell is a big advantage for West Virginia. He's the guy that recruited JT Daniels over at USC. JT Daniels is familiar with the offense that Graham Harrell runs. It would fit seamlessly. And I'm especially excited that there is a visit scheduled for JT Daniels because West Virginia has recently, and if you don't believe me, Google it, go search it. They've done a tour of the rehab facility, the recovery center, the recovery center. That's how I'm meant to word it. Not the rehab, but the recovery, which prevents injuries. If you can avoid injuries, that's the best. Rehab is fine once you get the injuries, but you want to avoid the injuries. And West Virginia has put a crap ton of money into the recovery center. They did a video where they toured the whole facilities. So I like that he's going to take a visit. I know they're going to show him the recovery center. I know he's going to be impressed. And because he's had injury issues, that might be another advantage that West Virginia has because this is state-of-the-art, better than Oregon State for sure. It's better compared to Oregon State over Missouri, but still better because this is recent. This is state-of-the-art. So check mark goes to West Virginia. Look, I'm human. I'm like everybody else. I'm wrong sometimes. But I'm telling you, I'm extremely confident that JT Daniels will pick West Virginia. If I have to put a percentage on my confidence for that, I would say I would put it right around 80%. I'm 80% confident that JT Daniels will choose West Virginia. You still got to leave a little bit of room because you never know. So I'll give 15% to Oregon State, and I'll give 5% to Missouri. And that means he could still choose Missouri. I just don't have my confidence is not very high for Missouri, but we'll see. You never know. So that's a big deal for West Virginia, but it's not make or break. Let me reiterate that it's not make or break. It would help us because we do have Nico Markle, the four-star recruit out of Arizona, freshman phenom that everybody is drooling over, including myself. Super happy that we got that guy. Amazing talents. Neil Brown did a great job getting that guy. And I think he's going to fit into Graham Harrell's system quite nicely. Now, I think he's capable of starting day one. I do. But it would be better to have JT Daniels with experience for Nico to learn behind. That way Nico can ease his way into the starting position because the last thing you want to do is stunt your superstar's growth or make him regress. That is the last thing. And let's be honest, it is very difficult for a true freshman, he will be a true freshman, to come in, start, and be extremely successful in year one. And that's the problem. If we don't get JT Daniels, maybe we have a decent season, 6-6, 7-5, but for a true freshman, it takes a minute. It takes a minute for him to get used to the speed. There's a speed change from high school to college. So it's going to take a few games for that. And do the fans have the patience? Well, does it matter if the fans have the patience? Does Shane Lyons have the patience for some growing pains for Nico Markle? I'm not, I think he does, but man, he's going to have some angry fans because there's one thing that I've learned about West Virginia fans: not very patient. And I'm not trying to trash talk my fellow Mountaineer fans. Love you guys. You're awesome. One of the most passionate fan bases on planet Earth, and greatly appreciate the support. But patience we do not have. So that's where I think JT Daniels will help. We could have a successful season, 8-4, 9-3, something like that. The schedule isn't too brutal, although the non-conference is kind of rough at Pitt and at Virginia Tech. But Virginia Tech is in total rebuild right now, and Pitt lost some of their main starters. We know Keaton Slovis is coming in, but guess what? Graham Harrell knows him as well, our offensive coordinator. So that's going to be in favor of West Virginia as well. So I like our chances in our out-of-conference. But I would be fine if we split that 1 win, 1 loss, preferably beat Pitt. I hate saying this, but if I got to pick it, lose to Virginia Tech. I'd rather not. But if I have to pick a loss between Pitt and Virginia Tech, I'll take Virginia Tech. So if we can split that, then take care of the FCS opponent, of course. Kansas 12 conference play 3-1. I'm fine with that. I am good to go with that. So I know I've made videos on that, but I had to get that off my chest because people you know how you try to explain to something to somebody over and over and over, and you keep explaining it the way you want to explain it, but it's not sinking in. So I had to talk about it one more time before I laid it to rest. For now, of course, he's got the visit. Then we'll talk about it after the visit. So, yeah, I had to get that off my chest. Full confidence, 80%, guys, 80%. That's how confident I am that we can grab JT Daniels and have a successful season going into 2022. Build off that, Nico Markle in the future. He is the future of West Virginia football. I'm just going to say it. JT Daniels is not the answer. He's the bridge. He's the bridge from now to Nico. Nico is going to lead us into the future. I have a lot of confidence in him. So, another thing is, Nico will be a part of West Virginia once Oklahoma and Texas are gone to the SEC. The new look Big 12. West Virginia, Iowa State, Kansas, Cincinnati, UCF, Houston, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, TCU, Baylor, and BYU. It will be a true Big 12, 12 teams. I think that can be successful as long as we don't have to play, Baylor on the road 2 years in a row, which that's not happening. And, Oklahoma and Texas, they're going off to the SEC, and I'm sticking with it. My sources are telling me the same thing, that West Virginia is still talking to the ACC. There's conditions that West Virginia is meeting right now to get to the ACC. One of the biggest things that points to it is the expansion of the airport up there in Morgantown to accommodate the ACC teams. That was one of the stipulations for West Virginia joining the ACC. Of course, raising academics, and West Virginia is actively trying to reach certain status in the academics to reach that. So there's some things that West Virginia has to accomplish before they actually get the nod. That's why the timing is still up in the air. But the grant of rights is up in 2025. So it will be before 2025, and that's kind of the time where Nico, will probably be headed to the NFL. I mean, if he's, as talented as he's being scouted, he's probably going to be headed to the NFL by then. So if we can't make the jump till 2025, then it's going to be all Big 12 play for Nico Markle. But he could be in the middle of a transition period for West Virginia as well, because if we can meet those stipulations sooner rather than later, maybe we could exit a little early. Although, exit fees, all that stuff, I don't know the ins and outs of that. We probably couldn't afford it, so it probably is 2025. But still, that's still right on the cusp of another transition for West Virginia. So it's going to be interesting to see how Nico Markle does in the current Big 12, and then once Oklahoma and Texas are gone, the new look Big 12. It looks good on paper, guys. It looks good on paper. Appreciate it, Andre King. Always supporting the channel with Super Chat, $5 Super Chat. We have a ticker on the bottom tonight. It has the PayPal address. It has the merchandise store address. There's one more thing that I'm forgetting. You'll see it. It's on the bottom. It's on the ticker. Sometimes I am scatterbrained. Let me do some quick shout-outs to the comment section. S. Michael. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. If I'm not, I apologize. S. Michael, it's either the Heart or D. Heart. Christian, J. Glizzy, 1999, and of course, Joey Foster commenting as Golden Blue Dude. Trey B. TV. Go check out his channel sometime. Gamecock Chuck, man. I'm telling you right now, for a South Carolina fan, this guy is a loyal supporter of Golden Blue Dude. So we definitely appreciate you, man. And I will have a video out for South Carolina because I'm expecting South Carolina to take a big step forward in 2022. I would phrase it like this. Last year I picked Kentucky to finish second and Florida to drop, and everybody, whoa, Golden Blue Dude, that's crazy. No, Florida's always good every year. No, they're not. They lost a ton. We saw a preview of how bad Florida was going to be against Oklahoma in the ball game. Well, this year I'm saying South Carolina is going to be the new Kentucky. I have South Carolina jumping all the way up, battling with Tennessee for that second spot. Florida and Kentucky is probably going to battle for that fourth spot. That's how good I think South Carolina is going to be in 2022. All right, on with the shout-outs. Andre King. Shout out to you, sir, and we appreciate your super chat. Brendan Baker, Sam Stouffer. By the way, we are gaining writers for our website, Golden and Blue Dude. We already have Scotty B, the Baylor King, Michael Walker. Sam Stouffer is going to cover some BYU. There's one name that I'm forgetting. Please put it in the chat, Joey, because it's escaping my brain right now. But that's a total of 4 writers for our website. So y'all really was amazing. That, man, I'm not going to lie. I was impressed with Tiger. For those of you that don't know, Slob Olympics started last year. It's annual every year. I did win the championship. I brought it home to Golden Blue this year. But the weather, 20 degrees outside, and this guy was still able to bang out 60 push-ups. 60. All right? So to put that into context, last year I was able to do 40 push-ups. This year, I was prepared to do 50 because I was practicing. I knew I could bang out 50, but because of the cold weather, it actually knocked me down. I was only able to push up 36 push-ups. Back to Tiger Baskins, 60 push-ups in 20-degree weather. So in normal weather, that would be like doing 90 push-ups, 85, 90 push-ups. So props to you, man. That was an amazing sight to behold. All right, on with the shout-outs. GF Sports, John Waffle H2P, a Pitt fan, still a subscriber, and me and him get into it every once in a while. We still appreciate you, man. Let's see, who did I miss? Traveling Fools. Traveling Fools and myself were part of the controversy of the Slob Olympics because there was some scoring issues, and you know, if something would have gone a different way, I'm going to come out and say it, okay? Even though I'm the champ, I'm going to come out and say it. If the scoring issues would have been a little bit different, Traveling Fools would be your champ, and I would be right behind him because he barely edged me out in the I about said 60-yard dash, not 60-yard, 40-yard dash. So, but you know, he's been gracious about it. I appreciate him. Unlike, I'm not going to say any names, but unlike a few that have been straight up babies. You know who you are. Get over it. Let's all be friends again and get along and have fun, because that's what the Slob Olympics was all about. It was about having fun, not whining if you lost, okay? I even told Lou, I have witnesses, I would have given the trophy back if it meant, you know, everybody would have been fine. But, you know, it is what it is. Past is the past. Get over it. Let's move on and have some fun. Shout out to you, TND. Jesus Christ. Back in the chat section. Very active in my channel now. Shout out to you, sir. And appreciate everybody that supports the channel, guys. we're going to start being a little bit more active on the Patreon page as well, because I'll admit we've been a little lazy on the Patreon, but we're going to be more active on that as well. Quick reminder, guys, if you're watching this video, please hit the like button. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. Or you can hit the thumbs down button. That helps too. But either way, hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down. Both help the YouTube algorithm greatly. Gets it suggested more and more people come in. So if you would, please take a quick second to hit the thumbs up. And if you have a little bit more time, share this out, because if you like this content, other people are going to like it as well. All right. Now back to, I want to get back to March Madness and see what's going on here. We already know, let me refresh this real quick, guys. Of course, we already know Kentucky, man, big upset there. North Carolina upset Baylor, although, you know, they did let Baylor come back from 25, but a lot of people are blaming that on the ejection, which was ridiculous. Michigan marches on. Look, I still believe that Michigan did not earn their way in, okay? A team can get hot. Bad teams can upset anybody at any time. It happens. Anybody can win in any given game. So I'm sticking by that. Even though Michigan is in the Sweet 16, I still don't think they did enough to earn it. Having said that, that wasn't up to me. That was up to the selection committee, and they did put Michigan in. What happens? They're making the most of it. They are making a march, and Michigan upsets Tennessee today. Let me see the score. I tried to eyeball it, but I couldn't. 76-68. So fairly convincingly, they move on. They will place the winner of Ohio State and Villanova. And to be honest with you, Ohio State surprised the heck out of me yesterday, because not only did they beat Loyola Chicago, but they flat out shut them down. Loyola Chicago only scored 41 points in that game. That's insane. Now, on the flip side, Ohio State, they only scored 54, and they're going to have to do way better than that if they want to keep advancing. But their defense held a pretty good Loyola Chicago offense. It might be a season low. I'll have to go back and look. That looks like a season low to me. It's at least close. So congrats to Ohio State. You definitely proved me wrong there. Buckeye fans are still happy. You're now in the round of 32. Side brackets here real quick. Are these the regular brackets? Oh, okay. Updating the live brackets real quick. Who's playing right now? All right, let me check my phone real quick. I do know that Ohio State's playing Villanova tomorrow. I still think Villanova is going to win that game. But still, you surprised me. And I picked Chattanooga to beat the 4-seed Illinois, and they led the entire game, and then in the last 25 seconds they blow it. Are you kidding me? And they lose by 1 point. I think Illinois took the lead briefly there for a second, but for, I would say, 98% of the game, Chattanooga had that game won, and I had Chattanooga beating Illinois. I still think Illinois was overseeded because they struggled in that game and couldn't score a lot of points. So, yeah, I'm not backing off of that at all. Right now, St. Peter's, are you kidding me? St. Peter's is leading Murray State. They might be marching on to the Sweet 16. It's madness. That's why they call it March Madness. So St. Peter's is beating Murray State right now, 32-27. UCLA did take care of St. Mary's, so they're on to the Sweet 16, which means they will play. Give me a second, guys. They're going to play North Carolina. I like that matchup. If North Carolina plays the way they did in their first two games, I like North Carolina to go on to the Elite Eight. But UCLA had a good game today against St. Mary's, shut them down basically. They move on to the Sweet 16 and play North Carolina. Arkansas, the 4-seed, is beating my Cinderella team right now. That's not good. New Mexico State, the 12-seed, 17-11. I believe I had New Mexico State going to the Elite Eight. If Arkansas keeps the pedal to the metal, that's not going to happen. And the thing that sucks about that is I posted my brackets in some Arkansas Facebook groups, and they ripped me up pretty good and laughed at me and said New Mexico State wasn't even going to make it out of the first round. Well, they did, but if Arkansas beats New Mexico State, they would still have something to throw back at me. So I really, just for the sake of the Arkansas Facebook groups, I really, really need New Mexico State to come through and beat the Razorbacks. I don't have anything against the Razorbacks. I just don't like being wrong. I don't think anybody likes being wrong. But a team that I am right about so far is Providence. I have Providence going to the Final Four. I had them beating. I had them winning out of the first round. I didn't see Richmond beating Iowa, so I had Providence beating Iowa, but that didn't happen. They ended up beating Richmond, and now they're on to the Sweet 16 to play the 1 seed Kansas. And in my brackets, that's who I had matched up, Kansas against Providence, and that's where I predicted Kansas to do their annual trip up. Where they stumble over themselves because whatever reason they have a bad game, can't get to the national championship. It's been a while since Kansas won the national championship. And that's crazy because in the last 20 years, they've made the Big Dance every stinking year. And the lowest seed that Kansas has had in the Big Dance, number 4 seed. That's it. That is the lowest that Kansas has had as far as seeding goes in the Big Dance. 20 years, 3 trips to the national championship, 4 trips to the Final Four, and only 1 national championship. So is it going to be the same old for Kansas? I mean, they look good like they always do, but then sometimes they trip up. Today they almost tripped up. Creighton gave them a game. 79-72 was the final score. Kansas does survive and advance to play Providence, and that is the motto of the Big Dance, is survive and advance. It doesn't matter if you win by 20 points or 2 points. If you survive and advance, that's it. You're moving on. So Kansas is doing exactly what they're supposed to do, and it's going to be the 1 seed Kansas against the 4 seed Providence. Games that will be tomorrow. One of them in my, not home city, but a city where I live near, Greenville, South Carolina, the 10 seed Miami against the 2 seed Auburn. I did have Miami beating USC and playing Auburn, but I have Auburn moving on from that. And then the 11th, this is in Milwaukee, the 11th seed Iowa State against the 3 seed Wisconsin. That's going to be a tremendous home field advantage for Wisconsin, and I just think Wisconsin's a better team. I know Illinois is hot right now, or Iowa State's hot right now, but I think it's going to be Wisconsin, the 3 seed, against the 2 seed Auburn. But those games haven't been played yet, so that remains to be seen. And what I just now realized this, guys. What if Ohio State does beat Villanova, and in the Sweet 16 we have the 11th seed Michigan against the 7th seed Ohio State? Now that would be a heck of a storyline right there. Bitter rivals matched up for a trip to the Elite Eight. I'm actually kind of hoping that happens now. That would be awesome. 2 other games in the South that will be tipping off tomorrow. The 1 seed Arizona against the 9 seed TCU. TCU, I had them advancing, but, man, they looked really good in that first game. They played Seton Hall, crushed them 69-42, put the clamps down on Seton Hall. So I was officially impressed by TCU. But that tall task against Arizona. Let me see what the spread is on this real quick, guys. Arizona favored by 9.5. That's a pretty significant spread for an NCAA tournament game. So the odds are definitely stacked against. The winner of that will play the 5 seed. The winner of that will play the winner of Houston versus Illinois. I fully expect Houston to come out of that. I saw Illinois struggle mightily against Chattanooga, even though they came out with a win. Houston looked good. So I expect the 1 seed Arizona to take on the 5 seed Houston. Sliding up to the East region real quick. Winner of the 6 seed Texas against the 3 seed Purdue. Last year, Purdue tripped over themselves in the first round, got beat by North Texas, booted in the first round. Hey, at least they made it to the second round this year. Winner of that will play the winner of a game that's going on right now at halftime. Murray State down 27-32. St. Peter's could be moving on to the Sweet 16. That could be an interesting matchup. We'll see what happens there. And finally, the West region, we have one game going on right now, another game later on this evening. Right now, Arkansas is beating New Mexico State, and I had New Mexico State getting to the Elite Eight. And then later on, Gonzaga against Memphis. Gonzaga struggled in the first round. Memphis looked good, so I am officially putting Gonzaga on upset alert. So Memphis could be a Sweet 16 team. We'll see. And they're another team that I said that didn't deserve to be in the big dance. And even if they beat Gonzaga, I'm sticking by that. You have to go by what they did before the big dance. And one of the arguments that was thrown at me was, well, they beat Houston twice. Okay, that's amazing. That's awesome. But you also have to count losses as well. And one of their losses was against the worst team in the nation, or at least the worst team in the SEC, and that's Georgia. You can't lose to Georgia like that. That's a bad look for you. So I'm sticking by that. But, hey, you got in, and you have a chance to get the Sweet 16, and you're looking good right now. Finally, the last two matchups in the West region, these are going to happen tomorrow. The 11th seed Notre Dame against the 3 seed Texas Tech. I expect the Red Raiders to take care of business. Play defense like they always do. Take care of the Fighting Irish. I'm going to say I don't think they're going to have problems, but you never know. Winner of that's going to take on the 7th seed Michigan State against the 2 seed Duke. And guys, this is the last run for Coach K. What round is he going to make it to? Can he win another national championship at Duke? With all the teams that are in this big dance and Duke not looking super elite, I mean, they did get a 2 seed, but I don't know. I mean, that would be a nice storybook ending for Coach K. But let's face it, he's become the Darth Vader of college basketball. People, I mean, nostalgia sets in, but I'm sorry, Duke fans, people are not rooting for you. It's not happening. They're just not rooting for you. So I'm hoping the sooner the better. And that's no disrespect to Coach K. It is what it is. That means you've done your job. If people think of you like that as the Darth Vader of college basketball, that means you've dominated college basketball. So you've had a great coaching career. No disrespect. We just love to hate you. That's all. Nothing but love, even though it's hate, if that makes any sense. Maybe? I don't know. I said it, and I'm not taking it back. So Duke taking on Michigan State tomorrow. 2 legendary coaches. I wonder what Tom Izzo is going to say to Coach K in the pregame. That might be an interesting conversation. I wish I had a microphone to record that one because last conversation as far as competitors go. So we'll see how that goes. But either one legendary coach is going to send one packing for good, meaning Tom Izzo sends Coach K packing for good, or Coach K makes Tom Izzo another victim, maybe on another championship run. Could happen. I don't trust Duke, though, so I'm not going to put much stock into it. All right, let me go back to the chat section because I have a question for y'all, guys. I do have a question for you. All right, here we go. Very simple question. How are your brackets looking? Because my brackets are not looking good at all right now. Now, I created a group, Gold and Blue Dude. We have over 200 brackets over there. Can you believe it? I did not think it would take off like that. And yes, some people made multiple brackets. That's fine. That's ESPN's rules. And if it's ESPN's rules, I'm going to play by those rules as well. So yeah, that's fine. No problem. Myself, I made 15. I made 15 brackets, and not one of them looked especially good right now. I mean, they're not all broken or busted or anything like that, but there's not one bracket that I made that looks, oh, man, that could be a really – no. I mean, this has been a crazy NCAA tournament. So now I'm asking you, my subscribers, my viewers, how do your brackets look? Are they as bad as mine? I had Kentucky going to the national championship, and they got knocked out in the first round. Thank you, Kentucky. And I thought it would be – I mean, okay, think about this. Arizona Wildcats against Kentucky Wildcats. I mean, both – well, Kentucky was a 2 seed, but, I mean, they were on a roll. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. They busted my brackets. Did they bust your brackets, I guess is my question. You know what the crazy thing is? More people complained about Iowa getting knocked out than Kentucky. And I had Iowa losing early because Iowa was good there for a while. They were a top 5 team. I think they got all the way up to number 2, possibly number 1. I know at least the number 2. So they were hot there for a while, but they cooled off tremendously there towards the end of the season. I know they won the Big Ten tournament. I know that. But they were too inconsistent for me to roll with. So, oh man, my brackets are absolutely. And there were 2 other matchups that ruined an entire region, like the entire region. It was the St. Peter's Kentucky because because St. Peter's beat Kentucky, and then I had San Francisco making a nice run, but Murray State beat San Francisco. So that complete section is completely trash. It's awful. So, but you know what? I had to put myself out there, make a video on one bracket. That's the one I stick with. It's trash, but I'm sticking by it. All right, we did have a poll earlier. Appreciate you, Joey, for being active in the chat. When will St. Peter's lose? Tonight, 44%. They will win it all, 33%. They will win it all, got 33% of the vote. That's, wow. Sweet 16, 22%, and Elite 8 or Final Four, 0%. So no votes for the Elite 8 or Final Four, but 33% for they will win it all. I know I have some sarcastic viewers. That's all I can say about that. All right, let me look through the chat real quick and see how everybody's brackets are doing. Let me check something real quick, guys. Give me a second. Oh, you're doing a good job with the likes. I appreciate it. If you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. It greatly helps the video. Well, you can hit the thumbs down too. That's fine. Whichever way you want to do it. Either way, it helps. John Waffle H2B says Pitt has 2 basketball natties. Thank you for the history lesson, bub. I did know that, by the way. Sam Stouffer says trash, meaning his brackets. Hey, man, that's why I mentioned it, because you're not alone. You're not alone. A lot of people's brackets are trash. Michael Hogg, shout out to you, my friend. He says, "Hey, GBD, how are you doing tonight, young man?" I'm doing great, man. I'm on a live show, so every time I'm doing a live show, I'm doing good. You know, we're live. Justin Trosper. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. It's either Justin Trosper or Trosper. He says, "Damn, Golden Blue Dude, 15 brackets. I do it every year, and usually I do 25, so I actually tapered it back a little bit. Usually I do the max, and I mean, there's always that 1 or 2 that's okay, but I've never had like an amazing bracket where I only lose like less than, I don't know, 10. Yeah, it's crazy. There's just matchups that you can't get right. I can't get right anyways. So yeah, 15 brackets. Yes, in fact, I do have 15 brackets. Let's see. Jim Hamrick says, "I thought I would give you a look tonight. Still mad about me pronouncing names. I'm sorry, man. I just brought in some childhood, man. That's how I do it. So I'm sorry that runs you off. Let's see. Anybody else about their brackets? Let's see. People don't want to admit that their brackets are trash. That's what I'm seeing. Oh, I did. I will apologize about this. Michael Hogue, not Hogg. I do apologize about that. That is your real name. I will make a note, because let me explain how my brain works, okay? And I even did it with Jarrett Daggy. I know how to pronounce his name, but when I write it down and I'm reading it, I say Jarrett, and then however it's written, Dogie, Doji, so I just got to remember to put it in my head. It is Hogue, not Hog. Okay, I got you, man, and I'll practice that too. I will get it right. I promise. Hogue. All right, let's do a group exercise right now. Okay, group exercise for real. We want to get his name right. Seriously, this guy's a great supporter. Ready? We're gonna say it together. 1, 2, 3. Hogue. Hogue. We got you, man. We got you. And, yeah, I do apologize for mispronouncing your name. Yvette Stowers Foster, the better half of Joey Foster, who I got to meet in person at the Slob Olympics. And Joey, I got to meet you too. It was a pleasure meeting you guys. You guys are good people. And all the other Slob Olympians that I met over there, it was just a fun time. That's why, you know, that's why I said it was a shame that people left mad, angry, upset, however you want to label it, because it was about fun. I mean, yes, the Slob Olympics is what got everybody there, but the Slob Olympics is just a portion of the time that you spend there. Unless you go there and go back in the same day, then, you know, it's pretty much your entire time. But we went up there Friday evening. The Slobs were on Saturday morning. We stayed all day Saturday, had the dinner Saturday evening, stayed a little bit on Sunday, and then left late Sunday morning. So the Slob Olympics is just a little sliver of the entire weekend. So it is what brings us together, but it's not truly why we're there. The reason why we're there is because we want to hang out with our feller. I knew I was going to say it. I knew it. Not fellow sports YouTubers. And there's some good ones out there. John Waffle H2P with the super chat, $4.99. I know he's going to make me say something I don't want to say, but he super chatted, so I got to say it. Here we go. Just a reminder, Pitt has 2 basketball national championships. WVU has 0. Crying face, tongue out face, crying face, tongue out face, crying face, tongue out face, crying face. Appreciate your support, and that is a fact. Pitt does have 2 basketball national championships, and West Virginia has 0. It sucks, but it's true. All right, let's see. Good point, Justin. Either Trosper or Trosper. Will you put the pronunciation like if it's a short O, then leave it Trosper. If it's a long O, do multiple O's so I know. I don't want to mispronounce your name either. He says, Golden Blue Dude, have you ever met someone with the perfect bracket? No, I have not. That is a good point. But there was one year, I can't remember the exact year. I'm wanting to say like early 2010s. It might have been 11, 12. It was near the beginning when ESPN came out with this. One young kid, and I forget how he chose the teams, but it was some weird way, had a perfect bracket. That's the only time I've ever seen a perfect bracket. So, have I ever met somebody? No, but I have heard of it. Just one, and it was that one kid, and he won the challenge and the grand prize. So, whatever, I need to Google that, because whatever his method is, that's what I need to do, because trying to figure out, it just doesn't work. You truly don't know who's going to win, and it's to the point whenever you're creating your brackets, okay? I don't know if y'all have ever noticed this, because you kind of you have to hit certain icons to see this. But whenever you're choosing your winners for your brackets, now there's a matchup indicator. It shows, who has, their wins and losses, who has, what their significant wins are, what their notable losses are, how they match up. So they kind of go into depth, and it gives you something to go by, but it still doesn't help all that much. I'm not going to lie. It doesn't help all that much. So I don't know how to choose it, okay? So I'm going to Google that and figure out what his method was, because using common sense doesn't work. Last year when I did my live show, whenever the brackets came out, I was live as they came out. I just wrote a name in. Whatever name, like the matchup came out, and I just wrote a name. So shooting from the hip, and that doesn't work either. That bracket was trash. Overthinking it, over analyzing, that doesn't work. Flipping a coin, yes, I have flipped a coin before. That doesn't work. All those methods of shooting a dart at the mascots, where you write it out, Terrapins, Tigers, which one is going to hit? That doesn't work either. So there has to be something that works. I'm not going to say foolproof, but at least 90%. Can at least be 90% foolproof, where you don't have busted brackets, and you have maybe 8 or less losses. I mean, there has to be something out there, and maybe there already is, and I just don't know about it. So we'll have to do some research on that, guys, because this is driving me nuts. One quick note about the slobs. Somebody mentioned this, and it is a good point. So, whenever I came to West Virginia and I told my in-laws that I had won the slobs, they were like, so since it's the slobs, does that mean that you came in last place? I was like, that actually makes sense. You know, because if you think about, if you're a slob, that means you're lazy and you're not good at stuff. So if you come in last place, that means you did the worst at the slobs. Doesn't that actually mean you're the best slob? So I'm going to bring that before the board. And by the board, I mean Uncle Lou, Pigskin Pete, and BVD, because those are the 3 co-founders. So I'm gonna bring it before what I call the Slob board and see if we can come up with a 3rd award. We already have 2. Number 1, the champ, the person that gets the most points out of all the events. Your current champion right here. Second one, the MVS, most valuable slob. In the first year, it was VicTube. In the second year, it was Nick the Great. So there's a 3rd award that I am going to propose to Uncle Lou, Pigskin Pete, and BVD. And that is, I don't even know how to word it. How about best overall slob? Well, we can tinker with the name, but the gist of it is giving out an award to the slob that finished last, because wouldn't that make them the best slob? I mean, it makes sense to me, so I'm going to bring that before Lou, Pigskin Pete, and BVD. We'll see how it goes. I think it's a great idea. I think it should be, okay, with the Champions Trophy, you have it for a year. Then you have to re-win it. So, you know, if I don't win it next year, it goes to the next person. It's like the Stanley Cup. It gets passed around. You get your name engraved on it, which I need to do this coming week. Supposed to do it last week, but, you know, crazy week. I will get it done this week. You get your name engraved on it, and then you pass it to the next champion. Now, with the NVS, the most valuable slob, that's an award that they get to keep forever. So, with best overall slob, I think that needs to follow the Stanley Cup scenario, where they get their name engraved, they get to keep it for a year, and then they pass it on. That way, from year to year, we can see who the champ is and who the best overall slob is. So that's my proposal. I think it's a good proposal. Y'all let me know what you think about it as well. Millis Vanillis says Dance-Off Award. I agree with that. If y'all have not seen the dance-off between Mayhem Matthew and Millis Vanillis, you've got to do it. I mean, you can't I will warn you, you can't unsee it. It is something that you cannot see, that you cannot unsee, and you'll remember it forever, and it could scar you for life. So fair warning, it could scar you for life. But I think it's worth it, guys. Pinhead Larry with a direct comment towards me. He says, at Golden Bluetooth, John Waffle is a pit fan transplant who actually rooted for WVU. I've heard that rumor. I believe that rumor. And he says, I found plenty of evidence for that and even remember his West Virginia name, LOL. That is actually correct, and I wish I would have taken screenshots back when he was, well, I say was, but, I mean, can you really change fandom like that? I don't know. But back when he was a West Virginia fan, there was plenty of evidence, so I definitely believe you with that. Next poll. Joey Foster, very active in the chat. We appreciate you. He says, when GBD puts out 2 videos in a single day, do you? The reason he put that out is because we've had comments about it. Some people think it's too much. Some people think it's not enough. So he says, when Golden Blue Dude puts out 2 videos in a single day, do you, A, watch them both, which got the most points, excuse me. Thank you very much. That makes me feel really good. That means you like my videos. 61%, that's a fairly significant margin. You watch one, 23%. Hope for more, 9%. I like that. Watch neither of them, 4%. Watch neither. So you came to a live show, but you don't watch regular videos by Golden Blue Dude? I'm super confused about that. That one doesn't make any sense. But 4%. I don't know if that's 1 vote or 2 votes. I'm not doing the math right now, so it's a low number. But either 1 or 2 people voted. Watch neither of them. So I don't know what's up with that. Speaking of the 2020 most valuable slob, Vic2 Productions is in the house. He says half the slobs are going to try to lose. I didn't think about that, Vic2. I did not think about that. So if we create a trophy for best overall slob for last place, people are going to start to try to lose. You might have a point, man. Although I do think people do have a thing called pride, so they're not going to try to lose. I'm not too sure about that. I don't know, but that is something to think about. Something to think about. John Waffle H2P is defending himself in the chat, saying, "I never was a WVU fan." We know otherwise, bud. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You can be a Pitt fan. That's not against the law. But I guarantee you, the rest of Mountaineer Nation has officially denounced you because of that. We don't hate you. We just denounce you. That means you are not allowed to come back. Okay? That's not allowed. And Yvette Stowers makes a fair point. Pitt stinks every year. Even last year when they won the ACC. You still stink, okay? We don't care. All right, so I have a quick question for y'all. I made a video today about Oklahoma. They're in a big transition year this year. Of course, Lincoln Riley went over to USC. They got their defensive coordinator, former defensive coordinator who was the current defensive coordinator of Clemson. Great defensive coordinator. He is now their head coach. And their starting quarterbacks, both of them, because they did have 2 starting quarterbacks last year, Spencer Rattler, who was benched halfway through the season, and then, of course, Caleb Williams, who finished out the season for Oklahoma. They split. Caleb Williams followed Lincoln Riley, which surprised me. I thought it was going to be Spencer Rattler because Lincoln Riley was like, "Oh, man, that was the hardest decision I ever made, man. I did not want to bench Spencer Rattler, but it seemed like the right thing to do." So it surprised me that it was Caleb Williams that followed him and not Spencer Rattler. I'll let them figure that out. But anyways, Caleb Williams, he transferred to USC, followed Lincoln Riley. He's probably going to start day 1, not even going to lie. Spencer Rattler transferred to South Carolina. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to do a big video on South Carolina because I think they're going to be a big surprise this year. But since I talked about them, then they're not going to be a big surprise because people will know about them. So that's what to expect from South Carolina. Point is, both of their starting quarterbacks gone. Okay? That can be a problem. However, I did look into it. They did get Dylan Gabriel from UCF. He's decent, but does he fit the Oklahoma quarterback mold? I'm not quite sure that he does. And that doesn't mean that he won't have success. But you guys got to remember that Oklahoma, they have high standards right now, okay? They had, they had Kyler Murray, Heisman Trophy winner. Baker Mayfield, Heisman Trophy winner. Jalen Hurts didn't win the Heisman, but he was up there, I think, top 3 or 4. And then last year, they about ran out Spencer Rattler and Caleb Williams because they didn't win the Heisman. So their standards are super high. You at least need to be in the running for the Heisman. Can Dylan Gabriel be in the running for the Heisman? Well, he hasn't done it so far. He did have 3 years at UCF. He had pretty decent numbers, but he didn't have a full season last year. His completion rating was better than his first 2 years, 68%. But his first 2 years when he played a full season, 59% and 60%. You're not going to win the Heisman if in a full season you barely crack 60% on your completion rating. I will say that his touchdown to interception ratio, pretty stinking good. Okay, so he's got that going for him. But you're not gonna be in Heisman talks if you can't complete passes more than 60%, well above 60%. So that's why I said earlier that I thought Evers or Evers, I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce his name, Nick Evers, I think that's how you pronounce it. I think he is more of the mold of the Oklahoma quarterback. More of a dual threat,
Pretty good arm, cannon of an arm, to be honest with you. 4-star prospect, on the cusp of a 5-star. So he was right on that fringe. So high end 4-star, and I think he has the Oklahoma swagger. So if I had to put my money on who would have a more successful season at Oklahoma, I know he's a true freshman, but I would put it on Nick. I would put it on Nick Evers, because Dylan Gabriel, I don't, and he's going to have a lot of pressure on him. Dylan Gabriel is going to have a lot of pressure to be successful now, and I don't know if he can handle that. It's going to be a big difference between UCF and Oklahoma. Now, he's going to have some weapons, and I talked about it earlier, especially Marvin Mims. Marvin Mims, I think he's going to take a big step forward this year for Oklahoma. Stoops, the slot receiver, he's going to be reliable as well. But a couple of questions besides those two. There's going to be some battles, and then the offensive line has got to be much better than what it was last year. Oklahoma's offensive line pretty much let their quarterbacks get wrecked. They let their quarterbacks get wrecked. I'm talking like outside, well, close to being outside of the top 100 in sacks and sack percentage. Like how many plays in between sacks do they allow? It was bad, really, really bad. So they get 3 starters back from that horrible quarterback protecting offensive line. They did a great job blocking for the running back. Terrible job at keeping hands off their quarterback. So that's got to get better. I'm just not sure. So yeah, I don't know. Let's check the comments again. Oh, Kuz's Corner in the house. He says, "I love this setting, looking more professional." Yeah, me and my brother-in-law worked pretty much all day on this. We wanted to get the ticker right. We wanted to get some graphics right. I'm really liking the headset. Not sure if I can afford it, but I like it. Very expensive headsets. There's a reason. Very comfortable. Can hear clearly. So we're going to try to set up a situation where he can help me remotely, because this is what we wanted to do, and we had multiple camera angles. That's actually been an idea of mine for a very long time. I just didn't have the means to pull it off. So I love the multiple camera angles. He's letting me know when it's on, what camera. So he's helping me out a lot. So the production of this particular live show went through the roof because of my brother-in-law. So a lot of appreciation goes out to him. Shout out to you. $2 super, really good at sports talk on YouTube. I appreciate that. Sometimes I just ramble. I try to explain how my brain works, but it's difficult. So I do research, and I write my stats down, and I go through that. But sometimes my brain takes off on something, and I just go down this avenue, and there's no stopping me. Like the JT Daniels talk. I can, once I get on a roll, it's touchdown time, baby. Same thing with Oklahoma. The big dance that I was talking about earlier. That's just how I only have one gear with my brain, and that's forward. So I appreciate that, man. It's still nice to hear people enjoy it. That's the big thing. I don't think that I'm good at it, but if you enjoy it, then hey, that's a win, and it's awesome to hear from you. Kuz's Corner says, "Is your brother-in-law for hire?" You can't afford him. Don't even ask. You can't afford him. You can't have him. Right? It's not happening. I need him. But in all seriousness, he might be for hire. I don't know. Yeah, I'm loving the this particular setup. Anybody else in the comments section? Are you enjoying this new setup? I didn't completely know how people would like it, because it is different. I love the heck out of it. We put a lot of. There was a lot of things. There's a lot of things that you can't see that we had to set up. So I'm loving it, because a lot of hard work went into it. So, yeah, I enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. That's the bottom line. I'm having a lot of fun tonight. I always have fun, but man, I'm having a lot of fun tonight. All right, anybody? Tiger Baskins agrees with Kuz's. So now my brother-in-law going out to the highest bidder. Is that what this turned into? My gosh, God, what about me? What happened? Am I like a second fiddle now? Now it's all about. I see. It's all about the production. It doesn't matter who's talking. It's all about the production. Man. P Digit says GBD is hardwired in for his viewers matrix. Yes. Yeah. So I just got a note passed on from my brother-in-law, and he is for hire. $10,000 an hour is his rate. So if you can afford $10,000 an hour, he's all yours. So the answer to your question is yes, he is for hire, but $10,000 an hour. So good luck with that. I don't know. Maybe you can sell a kidney or something. I don't know. Might work. Joey says it is lagging a little bit with the words. Anybody else having lagging issues? That's the first time I've heard about that. So might be a little bit of a connection issue or something. Yeah. Y'all let me know in the comments section. Anytime there's lagging or buffering or something like that, don't be scared to speak up. We want it to be as smooth as possible, okay? So don't be scared to speak up when it's lagging. So Joey says we had some lagging issues. Anybody else? Kuz's Corner says there is a delay, so maybe my mouth is moving and the words are then coming, or vice versa. I don't know. We'll try to figure it out. Appreciate you pointing that out. Oh my goodness, here we go. John Waffle, H2P, $4.99 super chat. I know I'm not even looking at it, and I already know he's going to make me say something that I don't want to say, but here we go. Scott Fisher says that JT Daniels will go to Oregon State or Missouri. That figures. The two options, not West Virginia, would be the choice of JT Daniels per a Pitt fan. Didn't see that coming. Anthony Zampin, thank you for the $10 super chat. He says, let's go her. I was wondering when you were going to make me say that again, especially when I'm with my brother-in-law who's a freaking Marshall fan. So thanks for that, man. He's laughing his butt off over here now. All in good fun. But I hate saying that, man. I really do. But $10 super chat. Let's go herd. Super lag. Slow-mo on the video. Uh-oh. We are having some lag issues. All right. Well, we're on it. P Digits, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. He says the champ is here. That's right. The champ is here. I even have my 7-year-old going around the house singing, "Champ is here. Champ is here." Yeah, that's for real. So even my son knows that the champ indeed is here. VicTube says the lag is real, so we do have some lag going on. I don't know why. We have pretty good connection, and the Wi-Fi is top-notch, so I don't know. We'll see. Scott Fisher is a Mizzou fan. Okay, that makes sense, John Waffle. I understand what you're saying now. So he's going to predict anybody, but hey, maybe. Okay, so Scott Fisher is a West Virginia, is a Missouri fan, and he's saying that JT Daniels will go to Oregon State or Mizzou. So maybe he has a feeling that JT Daniels is going to West Virginia, so he leaves West Virginia out and wants to focus on it's between Oregon State and Missouri. So that actually that makes sense to me, and I would say that would kind of concur with what I say. If a Missouri fan is steering clear of one particular team, that would lead me to believe that they would think that one particular team is the team he's going to. So, yeah, I still have an 80% assurity that JT is coming to West Virginia. Oh, did I miss one from Millis Vanillis? Because Joey says, go to Blue Dude, read Millis Vanillis Super Chat, and read what I put in about Michael Hogg. I thought I did read Millis Vanillis, but I'll read it again. No big deal. Yeah, I did, but I'll read it again. $2 Super Chat, Millis Vanillis. GBD, you're really good at sports talk on YouTube, and I really appreciate that. And you said something about Michael Hogg. If I mispronounced his name again, I apologize, man. I really have got into uh, a bad habit sometimes, so I got to get in the good habit by pronouncing his name correctly. Michael Walker, who is a sports writer for GoldenBlueDo.com, West Virginia sports writer, says, "Give us a prediction for Oklahoma football this season. USC E. I'm thinking that's South Carolina, maybe USC East. 10 wins this season." Or maybe it's just saying USC. I don't know. Clear that one up. But for Oklahoma, I would say 10-win season, possibly 9-3. I don't see them going undefeated, and 11-1 would be a stretch. So 10-2, good season, but more of the 9-3, 10-2. I do think they lose at Nebraska, and they could possibly lose at Iowa State and West Virginia. Yes, I'm saying West Virginia. I know Oklahoma really hasn't had any issues with West Virginia, but they're in total transition this year, and I like the moves that West Virginia has made. I think our offense is going to be much better. Joey, retype that comment you said for me to read that you said about Michael Hogue. Or maybe this is it. He says, at Golden Blue to GBD, Michael Hogue said, okay, so here we go. GBD, there has never been a perfect bracket. Yes, I did see that. The closest was 49 until Greg, not even going to try to pronounce that last name, had his busted when Purdue beat Tennessee in the Sweet 16 in 2019. Well, I do know that there was a young kid, like early 2010s. I'm wanting to say 2012, back when the bracket challenge was first introduced. He was a young kid that had a perfect bracket, like very, it was an anomaly. Nobody expected it, and, it was the type of situation where he didn't really know what he was doing. He was just picking names and just happened to be perfect bracket. So I will Google that after the show is over with, because if memory serves me correct, that's what happened. So maybe I'm wrong, though. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me check my PayPal real quick, because we did put that in the ticker, and I want to shout you out if you send us a PayPal. Joey, if you will, put the PayPal link in the chat. That's something that a lot of people don't realize as far as, contributing to Golden Blue Dude. We do appreciate Super Chat, like, for sure. That's awesome. But YouTube does take, like, a 45% chunk of that, because we're under 10,000 subscribers. Once we hit 10,000, they're only going to take like 35 or 30% of that. But right now, they take 45% of that. So when you donate through Super Chat, they get a chunk of that. But if you donate through PayPal, all of that goes towards Golden Blue Dude. That's so if you ever wonder why YouTube channels promote PayPal or Cash App, that's why. Whenever you donate through PayPal or Cash App, YouTube does not get that chunk. However, having said that, some people don't like to do it through PayPal or Cash App, so they'll do it through Super Chat. And of course, we appreciate that as well. So I just wanted to let me double check that real quick before we move on, because I saw something in the comments section that kind of. Okay, we're good. Let me go back to the show and go back to the comment section and find that one. There was a comment. Hold on. Come on. There we go. I think it was John Waffle HGP. He says, who didn't mention Graham? What is he talking about? Because I did mention Graham Harrell, and that was, to me, that could be the tipping point for West Virginia getting JT Daniels, because of the familiarity and JT Daniels being a good fit for the system. That is a big deal. JT Daniels, now, I'm pretty sure he only has 1 year of eligibility, but somebody said he has 2 years, so he might have 2 years. But either way, he don't have many more years of eligibility in college football. So when somebody their eligibility is running short, they want to choose a place that they fit in immediately. They know the personnel, they have a relationship, and JT fits all that. That's why I'm high on JT coming to West Virginia, because he fits all of that criteria. He's running out of years of eligibility. He wants to be able to make a big impression on the NFL. And that's why I have Oregon State at 5%. I can't roll them out. They're on his top 3 for a reason. They're closer to home. But the national exposure is not there. I mean, Pac-12 at night is horrible. Nobody, unless it's USC or a big name, Oregon, nobody really watches that. So the exposure is not there in the Pac-12. And the stadium itself is under 40,000. It's just not a big... To me, Oregon State is not a big enough venue for JT Daniels. And that's not saying that West Virginia has a big venue, because we don't. We're not an Ohio State or an Oklahoma or a USC. But it's bigger than Oregon State. Honestly, I would be more concerned about Missouri, because he would stay in the SEC. He would get that SEC exposure. He would start immediately at Missouri. And they need a starting quarterback right now, just like West Virginia. So I am more concerned about Missouri than Oregon State. But the Graham Harrell factor, to me, tips the scale in favor of West Virginia. That's why I keep mentioning it, because it is a big deal. And getting rid of Dana Holgorsen recruits is a good thing. West Virginia fans have got to stop freaking out that we're having players enter the transfer portal. I get it. Starters entering the transfer portal seems horrible. I get it. But they're starters from a bad team. Okay? They're former Holgorsen recruits. So even though it took us 3 years, we're finally getting through the Holgorsen recruits and getting in the Neil Brown recruits. Exactly 0 of the players that have entered the transfer portal are Neil Brown guys, for starters. So stop worrying about that. It's a good thing. It needed to happen sooner rather than later, but at least it's happening now. Pinhead Larry, a direct comment at Golden Bluted. It was Scott who never mentioned Graham. I just don't think Scott did a whole lot of research, which I understand, to be honest. Yeah, I got you. Joey says, that is what I said to GBD earlier, or to GBD today, Coos. We're going to always go after him, but not a very good quarterback, really. I missed that conversation. What quarterback are you talking about? I know it. Okay, here we go. Coos' Corner said, WVU has landed some good transfer quarterbacks, too. That is correct. Talking about Will Grier, Clint Trickett. Both of those were transfers. Clint Trickett, West Virginia fans forget about him, but he was a good quarterback, too. Will Grier, a step higher. Clint Trickett's still good. And Jeff Hostetler was a transfer as well. So, yes, West Virginia, I mean, this isn't, breaking news. West Virginia lands its first ever good transfer quarterback. No, they've done it in the past. And we have the pieces to draw in JT Daniels. The recovery center, I'm telling you right now, the fact that we've poured so much money into the recovery center, and it's going to be state-of-the-art, well, it is state-of-the-art, that's going to be a big deal to JT Daniels because he's been injury-prone. So if you put all the pieces together, that's why I have West Virginia at 80%. See, I keep trying to move past that, but y'all draw me back into talking about it, which I don't mind talking about it, but, trying to move past it because we have more than just West Virginia subscribers up in here. All right, so the cool thing is, West Virginia is playing Pitt and Virginia Tech on the ACC schedule as well. So to me, that, if you're complying with the other conference's protocol, even that points towards, hey, we got one foot out the door. Later on down the road, we're off to the ACC. A lot of things, even though the biggest thing that people get on to me about is West Virginia hasn't said it. So that means you're wrong. They're not going to the ACC. That's not what that means, okay? I'm not saying I'm not wrong, okay? I've been wrong in the past. Maybe I am wrong. But what I'm saying is, if you look at all the evidence, all the signs, all the pieces, they do say that West Virginia is headed to the ACC. We'll see if it happens and when it happens. I'm just telling you what we see. That's what's telling us. And my inside sources who are members of ACC coaching staffs, they're sticking to their story, and it's all the same. So that's why I'm not backing off of that. Until West Virginia comes out and says it, hey, it's not happening, and they re-sign the grant of rights, I will admit that I was wrong. And it, I am wrong sometimes. I'm not scared to admit when I'm wrong, but I don't admit when I'm wrong until I'm actually wrong. Kuz's Corner 499 super chat. Hey man, I appreciate you supporting the channel. If y'all haven't checked out Kuz's Corner, it's a great YouTube channel as well. Fellow West Virginia fan-based YouTube channel. Me and him actually do some collaboration over on the Mark Rogers West Virginia football YouTube channel. Go check that out when you get a chance. Joey, if you can go find a link to Mark's West Virginia channel and a link to Kuz's Corner, I am giving you permission to post those two links in the chat there. So we will give you the links to those two channels. That's how much I like those two channels. We're going to give you links in case you want to check them out. Let's see. Evan Ames, that's a new name. Welcome to Golden Bloated. We appreciate you being here. Give it a... Well, wait a minute. You might be a name that I recognize, actually. I have a bad memory, guys. So if you've talked to me before and I don't remember, I apologize. Just keep coming back and put that name in the chat section, and eventually it'll register in my head and I'll know who you are. That's how you get inside the brain of Golden Bloated. You have to be consistent. Be here as many times. Comment in the comment section in my videos that I do every day, and eventually I'll start recognizing your name. Otherwise, it takes me just a minute. If you're new to the channel and you've never, what am I doing here? What is this? I just saw a notification on YouTube and clicked on it, and I'm here. Well, it's Golden Blue Dude, and what we do is college football and some college basketball videos, and we don't miss a day every single day. Now, I was sick. I had the stomach flu, and I did miss 3 days. But other than that, over 20 months of a video every day. We don't skip days. We don't take days off. If I could have, when I was sick those 3 days with the stomach flu, and I'm being serious here, because I did it when I had COVID. When I had COVID, I didn't miss a day. With the stomach flu, that's a different story for me. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but I have Crohn's disease. So whenever I get a stomach bug, it affects me 10 times worse, like really, really bad. The last 3 times that I've gotten the stomach bug or the stomach flu, whatever you want to call it, people have asked if I need an ambulance. This was like 5 years ago. I had to go pick up my daughter from school, and I couldn't get anybody else available because they were at work or whatever, so I had to do it. Well, I had the stomach flu, but by gosh, I got to her school to pick her up. Well, when I went in there to pick her up, the people up front asked, "Hey man, you look bad. Do you need an ambulance?" Okay? Then we fast forward to this year. My wife, "Hey, you look really, really bad. Do you need an ambulance?" That's how bad it affects me. So if I could have somehow, mustered up the strength, laying sideways, and done a video for y'all while I was sick to my stomach, I would have. But I promise you, I did not even have the strength to lift up my hand to do a video. So that's why I missed those 3 days. It was horrible. Evan Ames says, "I got to go. My phone is almost dead." Well, before you leave, hit the like and subscribe button. That way, at least you can come back and re-watch it. There you go. So there's the link to Mark Rogers' West Virginia channel and the link to Kuz's Corner. So, yeah, y'all need to go check that out. Those are good channels as well. We're about to wrap this up. Anybody else need a shout-out? Go ahead and put your name in the comment section. We're going to get out of here in a minute. I'll go ahead and give Evan Ames a shout-out. He dropped by at the last second. P-Digits, I'll give you a shout-out. I know you did a super chat, but I still want to give you a shout-out. Anybody else? I don't know if I shouted you out, Kuz's Corner. I know you did a super chat. So just in case, shout-out to you, my friend. Johnny Ozark, shout-out to you. And he said BTW was totally kidding about JT Daniels getting a new trick at Missouri. Yeah, I heard that. That wasn't just you, my friend. I've heard that from other people's, but it is just a rumor. That's not a real thing. But I did think that was funny. Very, very funny. I want to say this correctly, just in case I shouted your name out earlier and I said it wrong. Shout out to Michael Hogue. Michael Hogue. Shout out to you, and I promise you I will start getting your name right. Shout out to Show Memo. Is that correct? Shout out to Double R. Shout out to Pinhead Larry. I know I missed you. Anybody else? I think we're caught up, and then I'll go to the... Oh, Wahoo Brad 24. Yes, we have a Virginia fan in the midst of the subscriber base. Shout out to you, my friend, and I appreciate your loyalty to the channel as well. And he says 3 of the major conference tournament champions have been knocked out in the first weekend. 2 of them in the first round. Crazy. I agree with you, man. That's why I said possibly one of the craziest tournaments ever. Not just, you know, you look at 15 seeds over 2 seeds or 14 over 3. But that was one statistic that I looked at. 3 out of the 5. 3 out of 5 knocked out in the first weekend. 2 out of 5 in the first round. That's why it's one of the craziest I've ever seen. Shout out to Kirby's Visor. Thank you for stopping by, sir. Love the Scream name, by the way. I've always loved it. I don't know if I shouted out Millis Vanillis, but just in case, shout out you, my friend. And I think Anthony Zappin, he did a super chat. Didn't shout him out, though, so shout out to you. And I think that catches us up. And if I missed your name, put it down in the chat and I'll get it. Shout out to Sam Stouffer. He is now a writer. He is now a writer for goldenbluedude.com. Joey, also, please put that in the chat. I know it's simple to type, but sometimes just putting a link is easier. So Joey put in www.goldenbluedude.com. And check out our writers. We have, in case you don't know, we have Scotty B. the Baylor King. He's the writer for Baylor. We have Michael Walker. He's the writer for West Virginia. And we have Sam Stouffer. He's the writer for BYU. So, and we have a writer for Texas, but his name escapes me. Please, Joey, put his name in the comment section because I do not want to miss his name. He deserves a shout-out as well. So we have writers for West Virginia. We have a writer for Baylor, BYU, and Texas. If you are interested in writing for your team and getting your team some exposure, and don't worry about being perfect or anything like that, just, you know, good content, entertaining, all that stuff, email Joey, and I'm sure Joey will put his email address in the comment section. Tell Joey what team you're going to write for, and he'll set it up. So, yeah, and Joey's saying, to remind everybody, remember, if you are a Patreon member, go over to the Patreon page for something special. We're doing a prize drawing for a Golden Blue Dude coffee mug. You know, we set up a merchandise store, and sometimes those things are a little shady as far as quality, but me and Joey both ordered a couple of things to do kind of a quality test, and I'm telling you, the stuff that this merchandise store puts out, it is top-notch, legit. Joey has his Golden Blue Dude coffee mug. He's loving it. He's sending me my water bottle, but we're giving out a coffee mug, and I believe it's worth $30, if I'm not mistaken, or $20, something like that. Not sure exactly of that. I'd have to go research it. But anyways, Patreon members, after the show, go over to the Patreon page, and Joey, not me, will do the drawing. Do writers get paid? Not yet. Not yet. When we start, I will say this, when we start turning a profit for goldenbluedude.com, they will get paid, okay? They know this going into it. Right now, it doesn't turn a profit, but whenever it turns a profit, they will most definitely turn a profit. I promise you. And they do some great writing, so I expect it to turn a profit very, very soon. All right, guys, so... yeah, if you're not a Patreon member, we're actually pumping a lot of resources and money into that as well. You already know Patreon members get a percentage off the merchandise depending on what level you are. Joey's in the mix of doing a chat room just for Patreon, so you'll have personal access to Golden Blue Dude through that. And we'll have specific videos just for the Patreon page. We'll do some after shows, like after we do a live show here, we'll jump over to the Patreon page and do maybe a continuation, or let you choose a subject. I think that's the best idea for a Patreon live show, is literally let the Patreons choose the subject of the video. So that idea literally just popped in my head. We're going to roll with that, and also prize drawings from the merchandise store. So we're going to make that a regular thing as well. We have a level starting at $2. If you know, it is what it is. Sometimes you just want a little bit of gold and blue, dude. You know, or the total experience, $50 a month. You're a big baller, a big spender. We have everything in between. So if you want the $2 one, it's there. $5, $10, $20, and $50. So go check it out. And we're definitely, and I admit it, we've been lax on the Patreon page. I fully admit it. It's difficult to do the YouTube channel because I do videos every day. And, you know, we had the slobs, and I know I'm just making excuses, but me and Joey sat down, talked about it, and we're actually going to put some time and resources into the Patreon page and make it worth your while. So, y'all check that out when you get a chance. Neo, he was a slob. He was right there with Millis Vanillis at the bottom, so I consider him one of the best slobs there. He says, I am the real best slob because I came in last. You and Millis Vanillis, so tip of the cap to you guys. You were the best slobs there, and you did yourselves proud. All right, guys, so I'm going to jump off here. Y'all tell my brother-in-law thank you real quick because he's the one that made this production possible. I mean, am I right? This was one of the best shows we've done so far production-wise. So we'll try to set it up and make it to where he can help me do this remotely because he lives in West Virginia. I live in South Carolina. I can't come up here every weekend to do a live show. Maybe in the future when Golden Blue Dude is really cranking and making money. Hey, anything's possible. We could pull that out in the future. But for right now, I can't come up here every weekend. It's just not possible. So we'll set up a way to where we can do it remotely and keep this thing going because I really enjoyed it. This was freaking awesome. I love the two camera angles. I love the headset and being able to communicate through the headset. I think it looks... Do I look like a sportscaster like this? What do y'all think? I think I look like a sportscaster, like a real sportscaster, not just a YouTuber. You know what? I'm not going to say just like a YouTuber. YouTubers are real people too. I think we do a good job now. But the point is, I think I could be on TV. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? I think I could work for ESPN. I think I got the face for it. What do you think? I'm going to let y'all roast me for that one. I know it's coming. Will Klein, thank you for joining the channel. Member for 5 months. Blue member. And he says, I hope Arkansas can at least make it to the Final Four. It's possible, but I didn't check the... Let me check... Hold on, before we get out of here. I need to check that. I'm glad you reminded me. Hold on, guys. Before we get out of here, because I have a vested interest in this game. Oh, man, and Arkansas is beating the New Mexico State Aggies, but it's still a close game, 41-33. A lot of defense, and Arkansas did hold a big lead at once, so at least New Mexico State has fought back, but it looks like Arkansas is building the lead once again. Hopefully New Mexico State can pull it off. No offense, Will Klein. I know you and your Razorbacks. I got you, man. I understand. But for me and my vested interest, I really want New Mexico State to go the distance and make it to the Elite Eight. And right before we got off here, we had Georgia Bulldogs stopping by. Shout out to you, sir. And D4 Sports recovering from a hamstring. I don't know if it was a torn hamstring or what happened, or maybe you know, in the knee or something. Whatever your injury was, man. He suffered it at the Slobs, so he literally sacrificed his body to participate in the Slobs. Speedy recovery to you, my friend. Hope you feel better soon. Love your channel, man. Y'all go check out D4 whenever you get a chance. And he still finished in 4th place. He's still with a, well, to be fair, he messed up his hamstring in the last event, but still, he sacrificed his body. He finished 4th. I have him as my sleeper, but I'm going to do an official prediction right now before we get off here. I am predicting Tiger Baskins to win the Slob Olympics next year. Why? Because last year I finished 7th. This year I won. Guess who finished 7th this year? Tiger Baskins. I think the trend continues, and Tiger Baskins will be your Slob champion next year. And I'll have a special trophy presentation because I don't think this year's trophy passing along went very well. So I'm going to make it right. And I'm hoping you're, if I don't win it, man, I'm hoping that you're the winner because I have a special, I'm hoping it catches on and it happens every year because I think the passing of a trophy needs to be a time-honored tradition. So I have something great in mind. We'll see if it catches on. Anyway, I appreciate everybody that stopped by. Appreciate my brother-in-law. Great production tonight. I'm going to get off here. I've yapped your head off far too long, but y'all have stuck it out. Anyways, y'all have a good weekend, and we'll try to get another live show going on Monday. I will be traveling, so the time, it's going to happen. I promise 100%. I'm just not sure about the time. It just depends on what time I get home. So anywhere from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. So keep your eyes out for updates for the live show on Monday. But other than that, more regular videos coming out tomorrow. And y'all have a good weekend. And Gold and Blue Dude, we'll see you next time.